Welcome back to the channel and thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite fun fish, the white perch. Once you learn where to look and what to use, you can spend a whole day with near effortless fish catching. It is a great stress-free pastime, so stick with me. When I'm trying to learn about a new species of fish, I want to know what's important about the fish to help me better target them. And I think it's important to know what the fish's range is, their habitat, their physical characteristics as well as behavioral characteristics, the seasonality, what they're doing during the seasons, as well as the structure that they most heavily congregate. White perch, Marone americana, they're native to the U.S. They can be found in their native range on the East Coast from the St. Lawrence River to the PD River in South Carolina. That's a pretty wide distribution. They've also been introduced to many other parts of the U.S. The white perch are semi-anadromous. That's just to say that they spend most of their lives in brackish water in their native ranges. They only travel to the tidal freshwater rivers for the purpose of spawning. Characteristically, these fish average in size from 7 to 10 inches and weigh less than a pound. But the biggest one ever caught was 19.5 inches and almost 5 pounds. Wow. Behaviorally, this fish migrates to tidal freshwater rivers starting in March and spawns from April to June depending on location and temperature. The females can lay 150,000 eggs a season, so they're quite prolific. After spawning, the fish will disperse through the tidal water system as well as pushing back into the primary brackish water origins. The rest of the spring through the fall, you can find this fish basically in open water areas close to shore. In the winter months, though, they congregate most heavily at the mouth of tributaries in deep channels. They feed on a variety of forage to include insects, detritus, fish eggs and larvae, as well as small fish. So some of the hot spots and prime fishing locations are close to bridges, coves, docks, pilings, laydowns near shore, and near shore grasses. That's one of the great things about this fish, its accessibility. It doesn't matter if you fish from shore or from a watercraft, you have access to them. Another great feature of this fish is the lures that they are willing to hit. You can get by with a very cost-effective setup with great success. And speaking of lures, when I look at lure selection, I always take into account the 5 things that you can control: size, speed, depth, action, and color. And for white perch, the size of lure you're looking for is small, about 1 inch to 3 inches. Speed is generally slow, so standing still, to about 2 miles an hour. And I like to give an actual speed because if you talk about the reel speed, the ratios for all reels are different, and that doesn't give you any insight into how fast it should be. So I say slow to about 2 miles an hour. The depth, that is to say the weight that you be using. I generally have a weight that's from 1/32 of an ounce to about 1/4 of an ounce for white perch. Action, you can subtly jig them, you can use flash and vibration, and all of them can be effective for white perch. The colors that I use are white and natural. I've tried a couple others here and there, but white and natural seem to be the ones that work the best for me. So as far as lure selection type, the type of lures that you will find to be effective: 1, an inline spinner. The size that you're looking for is probably a number 1 to a number 3. Speed, again, max 2 miles an hour. Action, let the lure hit the bottom. I'll do a straight retrieve or a straight retrieve with a slight jerk. Depth, that is to say the weight of these, they're generally a 1/16 of an ounce to 1/4 of an ounce. The color, I'll use one that's straight silver, one that's straight brass, and then I'll use one with a white bucktail hair trailer. Uses, it's great for searching for perch if you're going to be casting along structure lines, and it's also a lure that can be used if you have a really windy day, get a little more flash and a little more vibration. What to know: if you're using a treble hook, be prepared for snags if there are any debris in the water. So I only use this on sandy bottom locations with no visible debris. Otherwise, I'm just clearing the hook every cast. The lure that I like using the best are from Mepps. Use a number 1 to a number 3 Mepps. Lure number 2, just a plain spinner. Size small with a Colorado blade. Speed, again, just fast enough to feel the vibration or to see the rod tip vibrate. Action, I do a straight retrieve. I'll do a pause jerk retrieve. But I just always want some kind of vibration. Depth, that is to say the weight. A 1/16 of an ounce to a 1/4 of an ounce. Color, again, white and natural colors. It's another great lure for searching, casting parallel to structure lines. And it's also another great lure. Matter of fact, I think it's the best lure to use during windy days. I would say that what to know, this is, for me personally, one of the most productive overall perch lure types. And the individual lures that I like to using, for me, the most cost-effective one is the beetle spin. This is generally 99 cents to $1. Very cost-effective. It has a lot of customization, so you can actually change out the jig head that's on the beetle spin to accommodate the depth that you want to get to. So if you want a 32nd of an ounce jig head to put on it, you can do that. If you want a 1/4 of an ounce jig head, you can change it out without retying. Very versatile, lots of vibration, lots of flash, and very cost effective. Another one that I have just like local to me is called a perch hounder. Another one that's accessible to most people is the Booyah Pond Magic Micro Spinner. I use that one for a variety of things, but the vibration that one gives off is absolutely stunning, and I've caught a lot of perch with that lure. Number 3 on the list is the jig head with a soft plastic, as simple as you can get. The size, 1 inch to 3 inch. The speed is, a vertical jig or a slow retrieve. Action, what I do is I cast a structure, generally let it hit bottom while slightly twitching on the retrieve back. Depth, that's to say the weight, 32nd of an ounce to a 1/4 of an ounce. The colors I like are white and natural again. This is a great lure when a slower presentation is necessary. As far as soft plastic trailers are concerned, the 2 that I use with the greatest success are the Lunker City Finesse. I use the 2.5 inch as well as the 3 1/4 inch Finesse Shad. And I also use the Berkeley Gulp Minnow. I use 1 inch, 2.5 inch, and 3 inch. The Gulp Minnow has the advantage of return strikes. If a fish misses the lure, they'll usually come back for more. The Finesse will get return strikes, but certainly not as many. As far as durability is concerned, there is absolutely no competition. The Finesse can last for 50 fish, where the Gulp Minnow usually lasts for 6 to 8 fish. The Finesse has really great action, so I prefer it when using just a jig head, and I often lean towards the Gulp Minnow on moving baits. Some of the other equipment you might want to use, for me personally, the rods, I like an ultralight rod the best, but I generally use a light and ultralight. The line, I use 2-pound test, a 4-pound test, and I like to use Braid if I can find it. There isn't a lot of braid that's in that size. Sufix makes a Nano braid that I like to use, but I really like the sensitivity it offers. You don't have to use that, I just do. Spinning reel size is I use basically a 1500 to a 2500 size. This is a great species to target for most of the year. It's only in the winter that a wider craft is best suited for best results. So the rest of the year you can fish for these right up next to the shore. One thing to look out for, watch out for their gill plates. Man, are they sharp, and it can surprise you. The little fish can slice your fingers up. Other than that, an absolutely great, fun fish. Anytime you're going out fishing and you're catching 30 to 100 fish a day, it's just exciting to have non-stop action all day long. Not every species of fish offers you that kind of action. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the water next time. Most likely has to do with the... whoops. Is that a fish? That's not a fish. Oh, it's a crab. Look at that. All right, we got this guy out. I'm just going to throw it back because I don't have something to measure it with.